Hare Krishna. We welcome all of our YouTube live listeners and our Facebook live listeners to this session of Sri Bhagavatamrita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pankajanabhaya Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhurmatamidam Tatra Dharana Paraha Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanatha Swami Niti Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Jataka Swami Niti Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakatha Dhamadaya Nagara Gramadarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangurvangayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Again, we welcome all of our wonderful viewers over YouTube Live and Facebook Live. Welcome to all of you. Before we proceed to today's session, we would like to announce the names of the participants from the quiz contest from yesterday. So from YouTube, we would like to congratulate Hari Krishna Maddali Prabhu, Geeta Varadarajan Mataji, Rekha Mataji, Janeshwar Gauranga Prabhu, Barshana Chitra Mataji, Vrindavani Mataji, and Shweta Manjari Mataji. Congratulations to all of you. And from Facebook, we'd like to congratulate Ranjani Gopika Mataji and Meena Mataji. Congratulations to all of you. And we thank you all for participating in this quiz session in all of these quiz sessions so enthusiastically. And we'd like to encourage all our other listeners to also please kindly participate in the quiz sessions. It will help us understand, the topics, and not only just to understand, but to also retain it. When we hear it again and again, and when we are repeating it ourselves, it helps us retain these information. So, a humble request, please try and participate in these quiz sessions as much as you can to the best of your ability. So, with this, we will start with today's session, where we are going to discuss 3 chapters today, chapters 58, 59, and chapter 60. So, chapter 58 is entitled Krishna Marries 5 Princesses. Till now, we have seen that Krishna got married to 3 princesses. The first one is Rukmini Devi, second one, Jambavati, third one is Satyabhama. So, today we will see how Krishna marries 5 more princesses. So, Srila Shukadev Goswami said, once the supremely opulent personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, went to visit Indraprastha to visit the Pandavas, who had again appeared in public, accompanying the Lord Yuyudhana and other associates. So Krishna again went to Indraprastha. Now, we understand that when the killing of Satyajit was going on in Dwarka, at that time, the Shamantaka jewel pastime was going on in Dwarka. At that time, it is said that, the Pandavas were being burnt in the house of Lak by the, evil ploy of Duryodhana and Shakuni. So after that, they escaped from that by the help of Vidura, by the farsightedness of Vidura. And then they stayed in exile for some time. And then they got married to Draupadi. And then after getting married to Draupadi, they came out again in the open. They made a public appearance after they got married to Draupadi. So when they came back to Hastinapur, it is explained that, instead of giving the Pandavas their rightful throne, Dhritarashtra being so attached, overly attached to his sons, he gave the Pandavas Khanda of Prastha, a part of, different part of Hastinapur, and not the main kingdom. And we'll see how this Khanda of Prastha was transformed into Indraprastha by the, divine intervention of Sri Krishna. So, this is showing this first scene that is being set here, that Shukadev Goswami is saying that, Krishna visited the Pandavas, who had again made a public appearance. So when the Pandavas saw that Sri Krishna Mukunda had arrived, these heroic sons of Pritha all stood up immediately at once, like the senses responding to the return of the life air. This is how dear the, Sri Krishna is to the Pandavas. It's like life air when it returns, how the senses become active again. Just like that, when they saw Krishna, it was as if life was poured back into their bodies. They immediately became so joyful upon seeing Krishna. It is said that the heroes embraced Lord Achyuta, and the touch of his body freed them from all sins. Looking at his affectionate, smiling face, they were overwhelmed with joy. After the Lord bowed down at the lotus feet of Yudhishthira and Bhima, and firmly embraced Arjuna, he accepted obeisances from the twin brothers Nakula and Sahadev. This was text 4. Sometimes as devotees, inexperienced devotees, Srila Prabhupada mentions this, that sometimes inexperienced devotees think that, oh, now I'm become a devotee, so now I don't need to, offer any, I don't need to touch the, feet of my, elders and offer them proper respect because I'm a devotee of Krishna. I don't need to do all that. I don't need to follow those kind of etiquettes. But here, Srila Prabhupada points out that from Lord Krishna's example, we may conclude that offering of all respects to a senior brother in Krishna consciousness is not, it is actually upholding the proper etiquettes. Srila Prabhupada actually mentions here that offering all respects to a senior brother in Krishna consciousness is not sinful. Because some people think that out of bodily concept they think, oh, now in the material sense he may be my brother, he may be my father, so there's no need for me to touch their feet. No, this is very, very offensive. This is very sinful. We must try to give proper respect to the relations of this material body. We must give proper respect to our elders, to our seniors. So this is a point that Srila Prabhupada, mentions here. And then text 5 goes on to explain that faultless Draupadi. There's a very specific reason why Draupadi here. This is the first time that Draupadi is being mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And she's called as faultless. There's a reason behind this. Srila Shukadev Goswami or any of our acharyas, even our Guru Vargas, they don't just say anything just for the sake of saying it. There's very deep meanings to why they say certain statements, why they use certain words. Srila Shukadev Goswami used this word faultless Draupadi, is because that for no fault of hers, she was unnecessarily, dragged and insulted in the Kuru assembly. For no fault of hers. So that's why she's being referred here to as faultless. The faultless Draupadi, the Pandava's newly married wife, slowly and somewhat timidly approached Lord Krishna, who sat on an exalted seat, and offered him her obeisances. The Lord then went to see his aunt, Queen Kunti. He bowed down to her and she embraced him, her eyes moistened with great affection. Lord Krishna inquired from her and her daughter-in-law Draupadi about their welfare. And they in turn questioned him at length about all the relatives in Dwarka. Pleasantries being exchanged here. So beautiful. So overcome by love was Queen Kunti's voice that she could not even speak properly. Her eyes were filling up with tears. And Queen Kunti was remembering the many troubles that she and her sons had endured. Remember when the house of Lak was getting burnt, even Mother Kunti was with the Pandavas. So that, when they went off into the exile, that first time, even Mother Kunti went into the forest with her sons. So she also endured so much hardship, so much trouble. And she addressed Krishna in this way. And she said, my dear Krishna, our welfare was assured only when you remembered us, your relatives, and gave us your protection by sending my brother to visit us. Who was this brother who came to visit? That was Akrura. Akrura was sent by Krishna to visit the Pandavas, just to find out how everyone is doing in Hastinapur. Queen Kunti continues that for you, the well-wishing friend and supreme soul to the universe, there is never any illusion of us and them. Yet, residing within the hearts of all, you eradicate the sufferings of those who remember you constantly. So Queen Kunti gives here a very beautiful point. That Queen Kunti says that although we are your relatives, but you still never have this kind of us and them feeling between us. You have always treated us as your own. Although you are the Supreme Lord, you're supremely independent. You don't need to act in this way, but you still acted considering us to be your own because there is a condition, because we have been remembering you constantly. That is why, oh my dear Krishna, you have been part of our lives. So Krishna doesn't think of anyone just because they may be relatives. Shishupal was also a relative of Krishna. Krishna never thought of him all the time. But Krishna was always thinking about the Pandavas. Why? Because the Pandavas were always thinking about Krishna. That is the beauty of relationship with Krishna. That Krishna, to establish a relationship with him, we do not need to have any kind of bodily relationship with Krishna. That is what Queen Kunti is stating here so beautifully. So requested by the king Yudhishthir to stay with them, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, remained happily in Indraprastha during the entire months of the rainy season, which is these 4 months. These Chaturmasya is considered to be the rainy season month when no one really likes to travel, because those days you travel by chariot. It's really difficult when the rain is pouring down so much. So during these 4 months of the Chaturmasya, this rainy season, Krishna stayed back in Indraprastha, giving joy to the eyes of the city's residents. So this entire incident, we can understand, this happened when the Pandavas were actually gifted Khand of Prastha, and which by the grace of Krishna, they transformed it into Indraprastha. And upon the request of the Pandavas, Lord Krishna invited Vishwakarma and built this most beautiful and amazing city, which is Indraprastha. And then Krishna also engaged Maidanava, to build a mystical assembly hall for the Pandavas, in which later Duryodhana was, he felt insulted. We'll discuss that when that comes. But here, this is what, so Indraprastha was very, very opulent city, very opulent city. And Krishna stayed back there on the request of Maharaj Yudhishthir. So text 13 and 14 says that once Arjuna, the slayer of the powerful enemies, mounted on his chariot, flying the, Kapidhwaja. Arjuna's chariot, has Kapidhwaja, means he has the flag of Hanuman. And he took up his bow and his two inexhaustible quivers and went to sport with Lord Krishna in a large forest which was filled with fierce animals. So this was it was a sport for the Kshatriyas to hunt down fierce animals. And it was also, the Kshatriyas are meant to be protectors. So, when they hunt for these fierce animals, they do it as a protection to protect their citizens from attacks by these deadly animals. So with all this in mind, Arjuna went with Krishna. They were engaging in this sport to, hunt down fierce animals. And then they hunted down, really, these wild boars and, different kinds of, deadly, fearful animals in the forest. And a crew of servants carried to King Yudhishthir the slain animals, which were going to be offered in sacrifice in a yagya on some special occasion. So, the animals who were hunted, they were fierce and they were deadly. But when they were offered in sacrifice, into the yagya, they were immediately given a pious birth in their next life. They would immediately get, a higher birth, higher destination. So even the Kshatriyas, this kind of sport was meant for the well-being of these animals. This is how Vedic Dharma is there established, which works for the benefit of entire, not just for the human society, but for the entire living entities, for all living entities. That is the beauty of Vedic Dharma. So then it is explained, Srila Shukadev Goswami explains that then, after the hunting and all this battle, Arjuna and Krishna, they were feeling tired and thirsty. So they came to the banks of the Jamuna. Then it is text 17 says that after the two Krishnas bathed there, they drank the river's clean water. The great warriors then saw an attractive young girl walking nearby. So it is said that after the two Krishnas bathed there, even Arjuna is referred to as Krishna. One of the 10 names of Arjun, one of them is Krishna. Because he is so dear to Krishna, he is practically inseparable from Krishna. So Arjuna, one of his names is Krishna. And it is said that Draupadi, because she was also so dear to Krishna, that her name is Kṛṣṇa with a double A in the end, which is the feminine name of Krishna is Kṛṣṇa. So Draupadi would be very lovingly called as Kṛṣṇa by Krishna himself. So then, Krishna saw this young, attractive woman. She was walking on the banks of the Jamuna. So Krishna sent Arjuna, hey, Arjun, go Go and find out who this girl is. And Arjuna was very, very excited. He said, yeah, yeah, let me go. Probably, this girl, she's looking at us. So probably she is wanting to get into some, marital alliance. So then Krishna said, yeah, yeah, maybe with you. So go and find out. Go talk to her. So then Arjuna came to this beautiful young woman who possessed beautiful, her face was so beautiful. And he inquired from her that, who are you? Whose daughter are you? And where do you come from? And what are you doing here? I think you must be looking for a husband. Please explain everything, O beautiful one. This was text 19. In text 20, Sri Kalindi said, I am the daughter of the sun god. I desire to get as my husband the most excellent and munificent Sri Krishna, and to that end I am performing severe austerities. So Kalindi is another name for Jamuna. So Jamuna is the daughter of the sun god, Vivashvan, and she has a brother named Yamaraj himself. And there is only one temple in this entire creation that has the deity of this brother and sister combination, this duo brother and sister, Yama and Yamuna. The temple is in Mathuradham, at the most beautiful, on the banks of the river Jamuna. This place is called as Vishram Ghat or Akrur Ghat. And this beautiful Yama Yamuna temple is there. Is very, very powerful. Both these deities, they are black deities, very, very potent deities. And so this is the only place this brother and sister are worshipped together. So just wanted to add that as a comment. So text 22, the lady goes on speaking that I am known as Kalindi and I live in a mansion my father built for me within the waters of the Jamuna. There I stay until I meet Lord Achyuta. So Srila Shukadev Goswami continues that Arjuna came and repeated all this to Krishna, and who was already well aware of this whole thing. And then, I was listening to a class by one disciple of Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj, and he, jokes about this, and he says that, yes, Krishna knew about this, that Krishna knew that Kalindi wanted Krishna as her husband. And when Kalindi approached, when Arjuna brought Kalindi near Krishna, then Krishna said, yeah, why not you? I will definitely marry you. And if you have any other friends or if you have any other sisters, bring them also. I'll marry them also. So it was a very beautiful way that how Krishna accepts everyone. So immediately then Shukadev Goswami says that then the Lord took Kalindi onto his chariot and went back to see King Yudhishthira. And then Lord Krishna, he took leave from Arjuna and, Yudhishthira and the other Pandavas, and he returned to Dwarka with Satyaki and the rest of his entourage. This supremely auspicious Lord then married Kalindi on a day when the season, the lunar asterism, and the configurations of the sun and other heavenly bodies were all very pious and proper. In this way, he brought the greatest pleasure to his devotees. So this is the marriage of Kalindi along with Krishna. So this is the fourth wife of Krishna, Kalindi. Text 30. Vindhya and Anuvindhya, Shukadev Goswami continues, who shared the throne of Avanti, were followers of Duryodhana's. When the time came for their sister Mitravinda to select her husband in Swayamvara, they forbade her to choose Krishna, although she was very attracted to him. So Srila Prabhupada says that the enmity, between the Kurus and the Pandavas were so strong that Mitravinda's brothers, out of their friendship for Duryodhana, they forbade their sister to even accept Krishna as her husband, because they knew that Krishna had good relation with Pandavas and not with the Kauravas. So this is how, to what extent enmity, enviousness can go to. There's no direct relationship also that this is the reason why Krishna should not get married, just because Krishna happens to be the friend of the Pandavas, and therefore he is not so favorable to the Kauravas, and because we are friends with Kauravas, you are rejected. This is so demoniac. So the brothers of Avanti didn't want Mitravinda, their sister, to get married to Krishna. But Shukadev Goswami says in text 31 that my dear king, Lord Krishna, forcibly took away Princess Mitravinda, the daughter of she was the daughter of his aunt Rajadhi Devi, before the eyes of the rival kings. So Mitravinda was the daughter of Krishna's aunt Rajadhi Devi. So, and then he brought Mitravinda to Dwarka and got married to her. Then text 32 says, O King Parikshit, Nagnajit, the very pious king of Koshala, had a lovely daughter named Nagnajiti. The kings, so for the Swayamvar of Nagnajiti, the king had organized a challenge. And the challenge was that they should subdue 7 sharp-horned bulls. And these bulls were extremely vicious and uncontrollable, and they could not tolerate even the smell of warriors. They were very powerful bulls. So when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when he heard that this princess, is there, Nagnajiti is there, he immediately came to the capital of Kaushala. So when he came to the capital, this king of Koshala, pleased to see Krishna, he worshipped him and he told him, but yes, you have come. So what can I offer you? And Krishna said, I will accept your daughter, Nagnajiti's hand. And then the king said, but my dear Lord, who could be other than you? There's no other better suitor for my daughter, but I have one condition, that just to, put to peace the other kings who have come to win this condition. So please subdue these 7 bulls, and then you can take my daughter away with you. So therefore, he said, if you can subdue them, you can certainly be the appropriate bridegroom for my daughter. So upon hearing these terms, the Lord tightened his clothing. He expanded himself into 7 forms and easily subdued the bulls. Easily, he subdued the bulls. So it is said that according to Srila Sridhar Swami, Sri Krishna, he could have, in one Krishna could have easily subdued all the 7 bulls. There was no need for Krishna to expand into 7. But there's a very specific reason why Krishna expanded into 7 forms. He wanted, according to Srila Sridhar Swami, he wanted to show Princess Nagnajiti that she would not have to compete with the other queens of Krishna's, because he could expand himself and satisfy all of them simultaneously. So she should not feel, in any way that, oh, Krishna is going to become my husband, but he's already the husband of so many other queens. So she should not, feel challenged by this. Therefore, to show this to Princess Nagnajiti, Krishna expanded himself into 7 forms. A very, very beautiful point. So then this Krishna immediately, he just, in 7 forms, he just tied rope to their noses, and he just crushed all the 7 bulls, just like how a child would playfully pull wooden toy bulls. Then immediately the king Nagnajit, gave his daughter away to Krishna in the proper Vedic fashion and got both of them married. And Krishna came back with his new queen, Nagnajiti. Text 56 says, Bhadra was a princess of the Kaikaya kingdom and the daughter of Lord Krishna's paternal aunt Shrutakirti. So the Lord married Bhadra when her brothers headed by Santardana offered her to him. So this was a very proper kind of a marriage. Means Krishna didn't have to, kidnap or, do any kind of challenge. Here, the brother himself came and offered their sister Bhadra to Krishna. And then Text 57 says, the last verse of this chapter says, then the Lord married Lakshmana, the daughter of the king of Madra. Krishna appeared alone at her Swayamvara and took her away, just as Garuda once stole the demigod's nectar. So this was the 8th queen, is Lakshmana. So the 5 more queens whom Krishna married in this chapter, the 5 more queens are Kalindi, Mitravinda, Nagnajiti, Bhadra, and Lakshmana. So now we have total 8 queens whom Krishna got married to. This brings us to chapter 59, the killing of the demon Naraka. Text 1. King Parikshit said, how was Bhaumasura, who kidnapped so many women, killed by the Supreme Lord? Please narrate this adventure of Lord Sri Krishna's. So Srila Shukadev Goswami said, yes, my dear Parikshit Maharaj, after Bhaumasura had stolen the earrings that belonged to Indra's mother, along with Varuna's umbrella and the demigod's playground at the peak of Mandara mountain, Indra, he actually came to Lord Krishna and informed him of these misdeeds by Bhaumasura. The Lord, then taking his wife Satyabhama with him, then rode on Garuda and came to Pragyotishapura, which was surrounded on all sides by fortifications consisting of hills, unmanned weapons, water, fire, and wind, and by obstructions of Mura Pasha wire. So here we see that Sri Krishna came with his wife Satyabhama. There's a very specific reason why Krishna came to kill Narakasura or Bhaumasura with Satyabhama. You see, Satyabhama, as Prabhu was discussing yesterday, that Satyabhama is an expansion of Bhumi Devi, of Prithvi Devi, Bhumi Devi. And, you know, this Bhaumasura is actually the son of Bhumi Devi and Varahadev. Varahadev, when he was rescuing Bhumi Devi from the the lower planetary systems, and when he was establishing her on her own orbit, at that time, just by the touch of Varahadev's tusks, Bhumi Devi gave birth to this personality called as Bhauma. And the reason why, imagine he is the son. This Bhauma, he is the son of Bhumi Devi, who is the personification of tolerance. And Krishna, Varahadev is Krishna, directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their son is Bhauma. Then how did Bhauma become Bhaumasura? Why did he become a demon? It is explained by Srila Prabhupada that by association. Because Bhauma kept association with the demoniac Kamsa. Kamsa and his, allies, one of them was this Bhaumasura. That's why this pious Bhauma, pious birth of Bhauma, was happening. He converted himself into a demon because of the association that he had. So therefore, Bhumi Devi herself, who came in the form of Satyabhama and Sri Krishna, who is none other than Lord Varahadev. So both the mother and father were coming to kill their son, Bhaumasura. So it is said that when a child is, going away from religious principles, to bring them back on the path, if it needs, then such a child should also be killed. That is Vedic injunction. But when Krishna killed him, when Krishna killed Bhaumasura, anyone who gets killed by Krishna, they also get Paramgati. They also get the highest destination. So in that sense, Bhaumasura was liberated. So this is the reason why Satyabhama accompanied Krishna when he was going to kill Narakasura or Bhaumasura. So then it is said, that with his club, Krishna broke through the rock fortifications, with his arrows, the weapon fortifications, with his disc, the fire, water, and wind fortifications, and with his sword, the Mura Pasha cables. Mura Pasha means there was this demon called as Mura. We'll see this demon is five-headed Mura demon who slept at the bottom of the city, and he awoke and rose up out of the water when he heard the vibrations of Krishna's Panchajanya conch shell. As a sound as terrifying as the thunder, this five-headed demon Mura woke up. And then he came and he started, attacking Krishna. And Mura whirled his trident and then hurled it fiercely at Garuda. And roaring with all his five mouths, the sound filled the earth and the sky. And immediately Krishna, it is said that he just shot 2 arrows at that trident and it was broken into 3 parts. And it didn't touch Garuda. Next, the Lord hit Mura's faces with several arrows, and the demon angrily hurled his club at the Lord. As Mura's club sped towards the Lord Gadagraja intercepted it with his own and broke it into 1,000 pieces like this, and then immediately Krishna pulled out his Sudarshan Chakra and he just severed the head of, all the 5 heads of Mura with his Sudarshan disc. Then it is said that, Mura's 7 sons, the 7 sons of Mura demon, they came on the battlefield and the battle was really getting very, very fierce. And then immediately after, Krishna, killed all the demons, all of them. Then Narakasura, the son of the earth, could not contain his fury when he saw the fate of his military leaders. Thus he came came on top of his elephant and he came to fight with Sri Krishna. And Sri Krishna, along with Satyabhama, who were mounted upon Garuda, they looked like a cloud with lightning sitting above the sun. Seeing the Lord, Bhauma released his Shatagni weapon, whereupon all of Bhauma's soldiers simultaneously attacked with their own weapons. And at that time, Sri Krishna, he shot his sharp arrows at Bhaumasura's army. And then immediately it is said that, at one point during this fierce battle, Bhauma was, getting so frustrated because each and every weapon he was throwing at Krishna, Krishna was destroying those weapons. Then he was so frustrated that Bhaumasura took up his trident to kill Lord Krishna. But even before he could release it, the Lord cut off his head with his razor-sharp chakra as the demon was sitting on top of his elephant. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments on this verse text 21, that as Bhauma raised his invincible trident, Satyabhama, who was sitting on Garuda with the Lord, said to Krishna, "Now is the time, my dear husband, please kill him." And Krishna immediately, as soon as he received a green signal from Satyabhama, he immediately killed Bhaumasura. Then it is explained in text 23 that, Bhumi Devi personified. She came and approached Krishna and Satyabhama. And she came, and she said, she gave Krishna a Vaijayanti flower garland. And, she returned everything that Bhaumasura had taken away, like, Aditi's earrings and Varuna's umbrella and all of that. She returned everything back to Krishna. And after bowing down to Krishna and then standing with joined palms, the goddess Bhumi Devi, she began to praise the Lord of the universe by saying, in text 26, Bhumi Devi is praying. She says, "My respectful obeisances unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus flowers, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses." This is the very famous verse which we recite every day. Nama Pankajana Bhaya Nama Pankaja Maline, Nama Pankaja Netraya, Namaste Pankajangraye. So Srila Prabhupada, he points out that, this prayer, which we know so famously as Queen Kunti's prayers, which was discussed in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, but this prayer is original, offered actually by Bhumi Devi to Sri Krishna. She's the one who offers this prayer, which was repeated by Queen Kunti when she offers her prayer. Because this instance of Krishna killing Narakasura and Bhaumasura, this happened before, the battle of Kurukshetra, when Krishna was leaving from Dwarka. That was the time when, Parikshit Maharaj was going to be born. At that time, Queen Kunti had offered these prayers. So this is the origin, which Queen Kunti repeated the prayers that Bhumi Devi had first originally offered, and this is the source. So this prayer has its source in Bhumi Devi. So from text 25 to text 30, Bhumi Devi offers beautiful prayers. And in text 31, she submits her request to the Lord. And she says that, "Here, my Lord, is the son of Bhaumasura. Frightened, he is approaching your lotus feet. Since you remove the distress of all who seek shelter at your lotus feet, please protect him. Place your lotus hand, which dispels all sins, upon his head." So here, Bhumi Devi, she is seeking protection for her grandson, who was very frightened upon, seeing this violent battle that just took place. He was very frightened. So Srila Shukadev Goswami says, in text 32, that thus entreated by goddess Bhumi, in words of humble devotion, the Supreme Lord immediately bestowed fearlessness upon her grandson, and then entered Bhaumasura's palace, which was filled with all manners of richness. Then there the Lord saw 16,100 royal maidens, whom Bhauma had kidnapped by force from various kings. The women became enchanted when they saw, Krishna entering, and they immediately desired him to be their husband. And this thought came to each of their minds, that may Providence grant that this beautiful Sri Krishna would become our husband. And immediately Krishna said tathastu to their desire. And then it is said that every princess was given an individual chariot and were escorted to Dwarka. And in the meantime, what did Krishna do? Along with Satyabhama, Krishna then first went to the abode of Lord Indra. Because we know that Indra was the one who came and complained to Krishna about Bhaumasura. So, to return Aditi's earrings and everything. So Krishna first went to the abode of Indra and gave, Mother Aditi's earrings. And there Indra and his wife, they worshipped Krishna and his beloved consort Satyabhama. Then Satyabhama, she requested to Krishna that, please, I want this Parijat tree. This Parijat flower, actually, she requested that, Krishna, I want this Parijat tree. And then Krishna immediately, he is Agyakari Pati, he always fulfills the desire of his beautiful wives. So Krishna, immediately, he just uprooted the huge Parijat tree and he put it on the back of Garuda. And then it says that, text 39 only says, that he defeats Indra and all the other demigods, and Krishna brings Parijat to his capital, city of Dwarka. So why did Satyabhama want the Parijat tree? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that once Narad Muni had visited the capital of Dwarka, and there Narad Muni had gifted a Parijat flower to goddess Rukmini. So Satyabhama had seen this, and Satyabhama, she, had this desire from that time that, oh, Krishna, Krishna's first queen is Rukmini. She got a Parijat flower, I will get a Parijat tree. So that was the reason why Satyabhama requested the entire tree. And then Krishna, he planted the Parijat tree in the beautiful garden of Queen Satyabhama's palace. And even after, text 41 says, even after Indra had bowed down to Lord Achyuta, touched his feet with the tip of his crown, and begged the Lord to fulfill his desire, that exalted demigod, having achieved his purpose, chose to fight with the Supreme Lord? What ignorance there is even amongst the gods! So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that although Indra, he had surrendered to Krishna, not only this time, but even when, the Samvartaka clouds were sent by Indra, torrential rains, Krishna lifted Govardhan, 7 days, 7 nights of rain, Indra came and surrendered to Krishna. He gave him the name Govinda. He did all of that. Then he himself came to Dwarka saying that, please, Krishna, help me. And Krishna helped, gave Indra back his mother's earrings and everything. And just because Krishna took that Parijat tree from Indra, Indra could not tolerate that. So here, Srila Shukadev Goswami is saying, what kind of demigods these people are? Is this the kind of gods? Is this, what ignorance these gods are in? That they are getting everything from Krishna. And if Krishna is taking one small thing from them, they are launching an attack on Krishna. They're fighting with Krishna. What nonsense is this? So this is what material opulence, this is what power does to a person, that it blinds them, that they're always, wanting to take, they're never wanting to give. This is the miserly nature of the people of this world. Miserly nature. In this regard, my Prabhu always tells this very beautiful story. There were two friends who were going on the boat. And suddenly the boat, started, there was a storm, the boat started quivering, and then this friend, he just fell into the water. One of the friends fell into the water. And everyone on the boat, they said, oh, give me your hand, we'll save you, give me your hand. And this man was, this friend was drowning, he was not able to give his hand. So this other friend who was on the boat, he immediately understood. And he came and said, my dear friend, here, take my hand. And immediately the friend reached out, the drowning man reached out, and he grabbed his friend's hand, and he was pulled on the boat. So when he came on the boat, the other passengers, they asked the friend, the saving friend, that, we always saying, give us your hand. And you said, and he listened to you. Why? He said, you see, my friend, he is a pakka miser. He has never given anything in his life. Never. The word give doesn't exist in his dictionary. So therefore, I had to say, take my hand. Immediately he understood. Immediately he was able to give his hand to me. So this is how miserly people are. And that is the category of Indra. And this is what Srila Shukadev Goswami is saying in this text 41, that Krishna did so much for Indra. He went and fought with Bhaumasura, killed his own son for the sake of Indra. And just because Krishna took that one Parijat tree from Indra, that was not tolerated by Indra. So we should never ever think of becoming a demigod. Never ever have the desire, to have this kind of material opulence, which makes us blind. This kind of power makes us blind to, receive the mercy of Krishna. What is the use of such, pride, such power? Then, it is explained that the imperishable Supreme Person, assuming a separate form for each bride, the 16,100 princesses had reached Dwarka. So Krishna, he assumed a separate form for each of his bride, and he duly married all the princesses simultaneously, each in her own palace. So Krishna constructed 16,100 palaces for his 16,100 queens. And he already had 8 queens before. So that makes Krishna's queens to be numbered as 16,108 queens. So it is said by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that he quotes from the Kartik Mahatmya, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and he from the Padma Purana, and he says, those who were the daughters of cowherds in their early youth became royal princesses in their maturity. Therefore, just as the Lord of Dwarka is a plenary expansion of the Supreme Complete Lord of Sri Vrindavan, so his principal queens are full expansions of his supremely complete pleasure potencies, the gopis. So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that just like how Vrindavan Krishna, expanded into Vasudev Krishna, similarly the gopis also expanded into these queens. That is the purport of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Then the last verse of this chapter says that although the Supreme Lord's queens each had hundreds of maidservants, they chose to personally serve the Lord by approaching him humbly, offering him a seat, worshipping him with excellent paraphernalia, arranging his bed, bathing him, and presenting him with various gifts. So thus the queens, they were serving Krishna so beautifully. And this brings us to chapter 60, Lord Krishna teases Rukmini. So Sri Badarayani said, that is Shukadev Goswami, that once in the company of her maid servants, Queen Rukmini was personally serving her husband, the spiritual master of the universe, by fanning him as he relaxed on her bed. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur poetically notes that in this chapter, Rukmini Devi is like fragrant camphor, crushed on the grinding stone of Lord Krishna's speech. In other words, the lovely and the chaste qualities of Rukmini Devi will become manifest as a result of Lord Krishna's apparently insensitive words. So just as camphor's fragrance is enhanced or manifest when it is crushed on a grinding stone. So therefore, this is how this chapter is, predicted by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So then, Rukmini Devi, when Krishna was sitting on her bed, she started fanning Krishna. And then Krishna, he started, he was looking at Rukmini Devi's beautiful lotus-like face. And the Supreme Lord said, "My dear princess, you were sought after by so many kings as powerful as the rulers of the planets. They were all abundantly endowed with political influence, wealth, beauty, generosity, and physical strength. Since your brother and father offered you to them, why did you reject the king of Chedi, means Shishupal, and all the other, suitors? And why did you choose me? I'm not at all, equal to you. Terrified of these kings, I took shelter here in the ocean, and we have become enemies of powerful men, and we practically abandoned our royal throne." So, here, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he comments on this particular verse. He says that the Lord's mentality can be understood over here. That, Rukmini Devi was given one single flower from the heavenly Parijat tree. And Satyabhama showed such a torrent of fury that, I could not pacify her unless I brought the entire Parijat tree and satisfied her. Rukmini Devi did not display any anger even when she saw that I gave this, entire tree to Satyabhama. So how can I enjoy the nectar of angry words from this wife Rukmini, who never feels jealousy, who is supremely sober, and who always speaks so pleasingly? So considering in this way, the Lord had decided that I want to speak in such a way that I want to make her angry, so that, she will, I want to provoke her anger so that I can then pacify her and, that rasa. This was Krishna's desire. So then Krishna goes on to explain that marriage and friendship are proper between two people who are equal in terms of their wealth, their birth, their influence, their physical appearances, and capacity for good progeny, but never between a superior and an inferior. Oh, Vaidarbhi, not being far-sighted, you didn't realize this, and therefore you chose me as your husband. Even though I have no good qualities and I am glorified by deluded beggars. I am Dina Bandhu. I am the friend of the beggars. And you got married to me. Now you should definitely accept a more suitable husband, a first class man of the royal order who can help you achieve everything you want. So kings like Shishupal, Shalva, Jarasandha, Dantavakra, they all hate me. Oh, beautiful one. Even your elder brother Rukmi hates me. So like this, Krishna was, going on teasing Rukmini Devi, trying to provoke her loving anger. So it was to dispel the ignorance, the arrogance of these kings that I carried you away. You should not get bewildered by my power. My purpose was to curb the strength of the wicked. I did it for them, to chastise them, to teach them a lesson, not because of you. So I am always satisfied within myself. Krishna started saying like this. I do not work for body or home, and I'm like, completely free, completely independent. In text 21, Shukadev Goswami said, Rukmini Devi had thought herself especially beloved by the Lord because he never left her company. By saying these things to her, he vanquished her pride and then he stopped speaking. So Goddess Rukmini had never before heard such, unpleasant talks from Krishna. And she became very frightened. She was shaking in anxiety and she began to cry. With her tender lotus feet, she actually, with her nails, she scratched the ground and tears darkened her eyes. And, she was just, crying torrents like this of tears. And she was not even able to speak anything. Rukmini Devi's mind was overwhelmed with unhappiness, fear, and grief. Her bangle slipped from her hands and her fan fell to the ground. In her bewilderment, she suddenly fainted. Her hair scattering all around her body, she fell down to the ground like a plantain tree which is blown over by the wind. So Rukmini Devi, she could not just, tolerate these kind of words coming from Krishna. So seeing his beloved, queen so much in love with him, and that how she could not understand his teasing, merciful Krishna felt so much compassion for her. And the Lord quickly got down from his bed and he manifested his 4 arms and he picked her up and gathered her hair and caressed her face with his lotus hand. So in order to do all these 4 things, that is why Krishna manifested his 4 arms, simultaneously. Like he picked her up and he was also, he gathered her hair and caressed her face. So to do these 3 actions, he needed more than 2 hands. So because he wanted to do these simultaneously, Krishna manifested his 4 arms. And wiping her, tears, the Supreme Lord, he embraced his chaste wife. And he said, Shukadev Goswami goes on to explain that, Krishna is expert in the art of pacification, to pacify his devotees. And Krishna tenderly consoled Rukmini Devi, whose mind was bewildered by his clever joking. And Krishna said, Oh Vaidarbhi, do not be displeased with me. I know that you are fully devoted to me. I only spoke in joke, dear lady, because I wanted to hear what you would say. So then, Srila Shukadev Goswami goes on to explain that, O king, Queen Vaidarbhi was fully pacified by the Supreme Lord and understood that his words, was just out of joke. Then she gave befitting reply to each and every statement that was made by Krishna. So smiling very bashfully, Rukmini Devi spoke to Krishna. She said, Actually, what you have said is true, O my lotus-eyed husband. I am indeed unsuitable for the almighty personality of Godhead. What comparison is there between you, who are the Supreme Lord, the master of the primal deities, who delights in his own glory, and myself, a woman of mundane qualities? So here the Lord claimed, you know, the Lord had claimed that, marriage should be amongst equals. So Rukmini Devi is saying that, yes, there is no equal, you are in all terms, you're superior to me. I am just a mundane woman. Then she says, my dear Lord Urukrama, you lay down within the ocean as if afraid of the material modes. Like Krishna said, I left everything and I came to Dwarka, in the middle of the ocean. So she says, you actually, what you have done, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, that what you have done, my dear Lord, is that you have come, because Lord Krishna fears that, his devotees will come under the influence of the modes of nature and become entangled in sense gratification. The Lord enters the ocean of their hearts, and where he remains as the super soul protecting his devotees. So this was the interpretation that Rukmini Devi gave to Krishna. So knowing that great sages are, they have renounced everything, and that you are so gracious that you give away your own self, I chose you as my husband, rejecting everyone, even Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva or the rulers of the heaven, whose aspirations are all frustrated. So what interest could I have in any other suitors? So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Rukmini Devi's mood is that, my dear husband, your accusation that I don't have farsightedness indicates that you did not know of my deep insight of my situation, that my deep love for you that I have, you do not know that. So like this, Sri Rukmini Devi offers all of her, arguments in defeating Krishna's words. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when he heard all this, he said, oh my dear princess, I deceived you only because I wanted to hear you speak like this. Indeed, everything you said in reply to my words is most certainly true. So, O sinless one, I have now seen firsthand the pure love and chaste attachment you have for your husband. Even though shaken by my words, your mind could not be pulled away from me. So, like this, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in reference to this particular verse, he quotes a very beautiful verse describing the pure love between Rukmini and Krishna, which says that when the affectionate bond between a young man and a young woman can never be destroyed, even when there is every cause for the destruction of that relationship, the attachment between them is said to be pure love. This is the nature of the eternal loving affairs between Lord Krishna and his pure conjugal associates. So, supreme reservoir of love, unfortunate are they who, even after obtaining me, Krishna says to Rukmini, they hanker only for material treasures. These worldly gains can be found even in hell. Since such persons are obsessed with sense gratification, hell is a fitting place for them, Krishna says. That even though they, are attached, they're having some love for me, but they still hanker for material treasures. There can be never anyone who is more unfortunate than that. So Krishna declares in text 55 that in all my palaces, I can find no other wife as loving as you, O most respectful Rukmini Devi. When you were to be married, you disregarded all the kings who assembled, and you sent a brahmana to me with your confidential message. And I was, you were waiting for me in anxiety, and you were saying that you would just give up your life if I don't come. And if I don't come and take your hand, then you would give up your life and you would continue, performing austerities till the time that you become qualified to become my wife. How can I not be completely in love with you? So this is the way Krishna glorifies Rukmini Devi. This Srimad Bhagavatam firmly establishes, the unique glories and the qualities of Srimati Rukmini Devi. So this ends this chapter of the beautiful, teasing of Rukmini and Krishna. But the Chaitanya Mangala gives a further extension of this particular pastime, where it describes that, when Rukmini Devi and Krishna were talking in this manner, Rukmini Devi says that, my dear Lord, you can never understand the kind of love that I have for you. Only Srimati Radharani, she's the only one, my dear Lord, who can understand this love that I feel for you. Because, now you're here, tomorrow you will be somewhere else. So that is why I am crying in separation from you all the time, thinking about you all the time. So this is my love for you, and this can be only understood. You cannot understand it at all, but only Srimati Radharani can understand this love. Then Krishna is shocked. He said, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I don't understand something? How is that possible? So it is explained in the Chaitanya Mangala, just a prelude to this, that Narad Muni, being very disturbed, seeing the fallen condition of the people in this Kali Yuga, was, coming to see Krishna in Dwarka. And when Narad Muni entered, Rukmini Devi and Krishna were having this particular conversation. And then Narad Muni just entered, and Krishna immediately greeted Narad Muni and said, why are you so disturbed, my dear Narada? And then Narada said, and my Lord, I am disturbed for the people of this Kali Yuga. Look at their fallen condition. Is there no way to give them any kind of solace? Will they not get, deliverance? Will they not get pure love for you? People of Kali Yuga are so fallen. Can't we do anything for them, my dear Lord? So Narad Muni, was told by Krishna that, my dear Narada, you came at the perfect time. Even Rukmini Devi just said that I don't understand one thing, that the love that my devotees feel for me, that I don't understand. So to feel that love, to also come as a solution for your problem, Narada, to deliver the fallen people of Kali Yuga, I will take the mood and the complexion of my topmost devotee, Srimati Radharani, and I will come as Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu and give to everyone, without seeing any qualification, I will give them Krishna Prem. And thus I will also understand how can my devotees love me so much, because as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, I will experience that. I will experience that, and then I will understand what kind of love my devotees feel for me. And then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, he manifested the golden form of Sri Gauranga in front of Rukmini Devi and Narad Muni. And just for a moment, and both of them offered their respectful obeisances to the Lord. And the Lord again manifested again as, Sri Meghavarna, Shamavarna, Krishna. The two-handed form of Sri Krishna manifested again. But this is, the time when Krishna had revealed to Rukmini Devi that he will come in the mood of Srimati Radharani to give, pure love to the people of Kali Yuga. So we are so fortunate in this fallen age of Kali Yuga that we have, just 500 years ago, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and gave us this beautiful, Harinam, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And when Mahaprabhu came from Goloka Vrindavan, the doors of Goloka Vrindavan opened, and they are open till today, because Mahaprabhu did not close the doors of Goloka when he descended from there. So the doors of Goloka are open, and we have that access that is given by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by the mercy of our Guru Vargas. We have this rare diamond in our hands, and it is our duty and our responsibility to share this Hare Krishna Mahamantra to whoever we come across with, and make our lives a grand success and make their lives a grand success, giving them and everyone else an opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead. So with this, we will end today's session. Please forgive us that we took quite a long time today. Um, but if there's any questions, comments, or reflections, please post it in your comments by the time that we give you the quiz questions for today. So we have today 13 questions. Why was Krishna always thinking about the Pandavas? That's the first one. Second, what flag does Arjuna's chariot have? Third, who are the two Krishnas who bathed in the Jamuna? Fourth, who is the father and brother of Sri Kalindi? Fifth, who were the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth wives of Lord Krishna? What was the name of the mother of Krishna's fifth wife? Seventh, why did Krishna expand into 7 forms to kill the 7 bulls during Swayamvar of the sixth wife? Eighth, who was Bhauma's parents? Ninth, how did Bhauma become Bhaumasura? 10th, why did Satyabhama come with Krishna to kill Bhaumasura? 11th, why did Satyabhama want Parijat tree from the heavenly planets? 12th, what was the internal reason for Krishna to tease Rukmini Devi? 13th, what was the internal reason for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So these are the questions that we have. We thank all of you for your beautiful comments of encouragement. This really helps us to keep going. I'm just going to check on Facebook if we have any questions. Okay. Doesn't look like we have a question. Any questions? All right. Thank you all very much. Thank you. All of you, Gita Varadarajan Mataji, Soumya Rajeshwari Mataji, Varshana Chitra Mataji, Janeshwar Goranga Prabhu, Sudesh Prabhu, Lalita Mataji. We have bulky collections, Madhubhashini Mataji, Murali Manohar Prabhu, Lalita Mataji, Ma Baba, and Shweta Manjari. We have Hari Krishna Maddali Prabhu, Shama Supriya, Swati Mataji, Meena Mataji, Rajeshwari Mataji. Thank you all for your beautiful, beautiful comments, and all of our devotees, even from Facebook. Radha Padavi Mataji, Divyangi Lalita, Prema Vikas Prabhu, Nisha Mataji, Ram Prabhu. Then we have Narasimha Gaura Haridas. Thank you, Prabhu. Priya Basak. Then we have Radha Padavi Mataji. We have Maitreyi, Shama, Ranjani Gopika Mataji, Radha Reddy Mataji. Thank you all so much for your beautiful comments and for your enthusiastic online participation. And if I've missed taking anybody's name, please forgive me. But we again thank all of you for joining us. And we really look forward to hearing from you. So if you have any questions or if you have any other comments, please do share in the comments. And please do participate in the quiz. It will help us keeping in touch with all of you. So please do participate. Thank you all so very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Vartaman Guru Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.